A Delhi-Guangzhou flight by IndiGo touched down at Baiyun Airport early this morning, marking the second direct flight route between China and India after a 5-year suspension. IndiGo CEO Pieter Elbers was on this morning's flight, and he told CNA's Yasmin Jonkers the new services go beyond just a route.
I think it speaks for the agility of IndiGo and the sort of preparedness for it. So whenever the two governments basically announced the restart or the reopening, I would say, of the airspace and the corridor between the two countries, we worked relentlessly, and I'm very proud on the IndiGo team who did all the preparations to get this up and running. And prior to COVID, IndiGo was operating out of Kolkata into Guangzhou, but this is really new, and it's more than just a route. It's part of the internationalization strategy, and looking at the fact that 1/3 of the world population is living in these two countries. The fact that we start now these flights is an incredible important moment for us. So therefore, the drums and the dance at the airport was, I would say, very appropriate.
Okay. Well, are you expecting this brand new Delhi-Guangzhou route to be driven primarily by business travelers, students, or leisure traffic? And then how do you approach pricing in that case, and also capacity to balance these segments profitably?
Well, I would almost say all of the above. IndiGo typically is targeting all the different market segments, and clearly with tourism between India and China still at the very nascent stage. There's a lot of business and trade and I would say commercial relationships between the two. But as the borders will open and as visas will start to flow, the opportunity to further build on that and address the multiple market segments, not only the commercial ones, but indeed perhaps also students and other forms of collaboration and connections between the two countries. I think IndiGo has a price point and very much I would say the core of IndiGo, offering affordable fares that resonates extremely well. And today morning at the airport, I was talking to a group of Indian customers here in Guangzhou itself, and they were so excited and sort of grateful for the opportunity which is there.
All right, and we know that Guangzhou is also a key commercial hub. Are there then plans to expand cargo capabilities alongside these passenger services of yours?
Yeah, we already have a cargo flight operating that started actually some while back already. But now clearly with not only full cargo flights, but also having some cargo space in the bellies, I think we start to establish that link as well. And as I said, this is the start of a longer journey. So the opportunities both on the passenger and the cargo side are really there.
Okay, that's good to know. And looking ahead then, how do you see India-China air connectivity evolving? Do you have more destinations on the cards? And what challenges or the policy factors could influence your expansion plans?
Yeah, well, clearly we have the ambition to grow. And I mean, there's numerous cities, both in India and China, with 5 million plus population. So direct connectivities between these two cities is really, I would say, a great opportunity. IndiGo will start to get the XLR by the end of this year and more in the years ahead. The Airbus 321 XLR is typically an aircraft which you could use for these, I would say, thinner routes between these cities. So the opportunity to start building on that clearly is there. Today we started Guangzhou, and obviously we're looking to other Chinese cities as well. Well,
there's lots of pent-up demand, like you say, but how do you make, the seats full as time goes by? How do you make this a sustainable thing?
I think there's a couple of factors. First of all, both countries are having a growing economic ties in terms of trade and relationships. That was being suspended a lot around the COVID area, and as things are moving forward, I think the two governments have taken steps to enhance that commercial relationship between the two countries. Clearly, that will stimulate demand. And again, looking at the fact that today 1/3 of the world population is living in these two countries, and with the exception of flights to Hong Kong, there was no direct connectivity between India and China. So, even if that double daily flight we have today would multiply a couple of times, then still looking at the population sizes and the economic size of the two countries, China being the second largest economy in the world and India being the fourth largest economy in the world, the fact that the opportunity for direct flight now is there would just stimulate demand and would create a lot of new relationship between the two nations.
And we know that China's got these slot constraints and also deferring aviation regulations. So is IndiGo then exploring partnerships or inter-airline arrangements with particularly Chinese carriers or travel partners there to deepen your market access?
Yeah, thank you for addressing that. Actually, we've signed up today for a commercial partnership with China Southern. China Southern clearly having a very strong position here in Guangzhou itself, but also Beijing, but primarily here in Guangzhou. So we have announced here the partnership, which will allow customers from IndiGo to connect on that huge network of China Southern, both in India itself as well as beyond to other parts of the world, and vice versa. Whenever China Southern were to decide to start flying into India, we will have a similar arrangement there. And I think when it comes to partnerships, it's all pretty new for IndiGo, but over the past 3 years, we've really stepped up the game when it comes to partnerships, and we've seen actually very, very positive momentum on that, and hence flying to Guangzhou and then connecting up with China Southern is the very logic thing to do. And for China Southern, flying to India and connecting up with IndiGo being the largest operator of India makes a lot of sense for them as well.